there you go.
Very strange exotic energy was radiating from him.
That body on the gurney is lifeless.
And when I saw that, I knew you were on targetary involvement.
Elongated skull, skinny arms and body, like alien.
You have several images of meetings, like important people.
Top secret. I get the sense that this might be like underground.
That's quite a sketch. Okay.
Like a wake-up call message for humanity.
You're watching the FFG archives, uncovering our remote viewing debriefs from the vault, raw, unfiltered, and decades ahead of their time, now released for the first time on YouTube. Watch them all at futureforecastinggroup.com.
Hi there, CryptoViewing subscribers. Dick Allgire here in Honolulu, Hawaii, with our feature presentation, The Alien. There's a long story behind this, so the introduction is going to be a little bit long-winded, but I want you to hear the backstory before you see the work of the remote viewers and before you see the actual target photo. I have an amazing photo that I think you probably have never seen, and just the photo itself is fantastic. So I'm going to hold that off until you've seen all the remote viewing work. I think maybe what you'll want to do is see what the viewers produced with only the target ID in your mind, and then look at the picture, and then you'll want to go back and rewatch their work. This is some of the most amazing remote viewing work on the ET issue that has ever been produced, in my opinion. All right, here's the backstory. Because I've achieved some notoriety as a remote viewer worldwide, people from around the world contact me with interesting information, interesting discussions. Sometimes they send me stuff. 8 years ago, an individual contacted me and told me that he had worked in a foreign military, an ally of the United States, not the U.S. military, that he had worked for many years, and one of the things that he was involved with in that military was the ET issue. Some of the things he told me I still can't talk about. He is under a non-disclosure agreement. But I have spoken with him many times over the years. I've seen him face to face. I've looked into his eye. I've seen his face. I believe him. He has sent me material that has validated his service in that military. So, earlier this year, I was talking with him, and we were talking about the disclosure that's underway, the fact that the U.S. government is now admitting that extraterrestrial craft are real, that they have been tracking things. And I asked this gentleman, are things easing up on you? Are you able to talk and share things with me? And he said, yes, he believes so. So he sent me some pictures. And one of the pictures I looked at and I went, that's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And I decided that would be a good subject for a remote viewing target. So I wrote a target queue associated with this photo, and I gave it a target ID. This was randomly generated, and this is it, ES45-GN21. ES45-GN21. That's all I gave the viewers. The viewers worked this blind. They worked independently, so they did not see each other's work until the project was totally complete. So I'm going to show you the post-session interviews that I conducted separately with each remote viewer, starting with Edward Riordan, and then we will hear from Nyiam Malcolm, and finally Daz Smith. And remember that they were working blind. They were only given the target ID. They did not see each other's work. Here's the first debrief. All right, we're going to start with Edward Riordan's session. How are you today, Edward?
I'm doing great, man. Great to see you.
Have you been fed back on this target yet?
No.
You know what
In fact, I don't even remember the session. I have to go back over and look at it, but I have gotten no feedback or anything related to this target.
Okay. I'm the tasker. You worked this blind. You had no access to any information.
That's correct.
All right. What we're gonna do is a little bit of analysis here, because every remote viewing session is a combination of good data, bad data, and contamination. Very often a viewer will give very good data without understanding it. So there's me knowing the target, I can see very significant target contact that you had here. And I don't want to go over your whole session because there's a little bit of you were trying to figure out, there's a little bit of storyline that goes in and out, but when you're on, it's very significant. So with you still being blind, let me start with your low level data here. I'm going to share. Okay, here's your very beginning low level, your ideograms probes. And basically what I'm looking at is you're seeing something biological. What does this mean to you?
Yeah. The ideograms felt biological. These loops, whenever I get these loops, they're usually something biological.
So this early on, you're getting the sense that the target involves a life form that you're going to need to look at.
Yep. Same with the second ideogram there. Again, I'm getting the loops. That one felt a little more energetic as well. So we're dealing with person and there was some energy around him.
Okay. So now you get to, describe what you're seeing here.
Oh yeah, hostile. Angry. Oh yeah, angry exchange, possible physical assault. Yeah, it was these two people in some kind of an altercation. This hostile, that was the aesthetic impact. That was how they were feeling. So there was this hostile encounter going on with these two, verbal and physical, and it was pretty intense. They're angry. You can see the eyebrows are down, fists are up. Kind of they're pretty upset about something.
Okay, we'll continue on. Okay. So describe here. You have two AOLs of death, but what are you getting here?
Well, I got somebody's down for the count there. It felt female to me. We'll see whatever the gender was, but they were on the ground and they were in need of some help going in and out of consciousness, on the ground and kind of going in and out, cries for assistance, exhaustion. Exhaustion like this person where you don't have anything left to even get up. They're down.
Okay, so we're taking this at its, reducing it to its lowest level possible meaning is there's a biological life form that you feel is female that's prone on the ground and in some physical distress. And Correct. You have two AOLs of death happening.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Here we continue.
Let's see here. Okay, again,
similar thing.
Down. Yeah. Person. Okay, there's another person over them, and like they're being pulled, checking pulse, physical trauma. That was kind of weird. Yeah, that was
force. Okay, so yeah. You have a physical life form that's lying down, not breathing, and has been moved.
Yeah.
They're checking the pulse. Okay.
Yeah. Physical trauma, blunt force.
The next one. Okay. I'm just going for the imagery here because this is significant to the target photo. You've got a life form that's prone, lying down, and I look at all your work for many years and you've never drawn that exact thing, so this is significant. Tell us your descriptions of this.
Yeah, this person felt like they were dead. and they're in like a hospital. They're just kind of getting wheeled away, and that body on the gurney is lifeless. It was like,
Okay.
they're dead.
Okay, so I got two more images from your session I'm going to show you, but at this point, do you feel strongly, based on your remote viewing session, that there was a person, entity, some life form that expired, and there was that's the basis of the target, like somebody really did get hurt?
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll get a little woo-woo, because if we take your data chronologically, next you tell us you have several images of meetings, like important people, and there seems to be, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like maybe reacting to this or decisions being made. Did you have any connection between what you saw happening with the person in distress and dying and then this?
Well, I mean,
My
feeling,
interpretation, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is like, oh, there's a high level reaction to this.
well, the ringmaster idea, like that person there at the head, he's at the head of the table, whoever that person is, having a whatever discussion about a situation or whatever related to the target. But the idea of like a ringmaster, or someone who's like in control or has some kind of power in relationship to what's going on at this target
Orchestrating
site.
things.
Yeah, the
Again, I don't want to put words. Okay, now one final one. We're going to get very woo-woo here.
Oh, good.
You may be telling me something very significant here. Describe this. I know it's been like a month since you've worked this target, and you've done a whole bunch of, you don't even remember this.
I don't even remember the whole thing. Let me see here. Dark swing.
What you're
like
saying
a black
is
hole program. They are programmed to suck in all the light that is around them. I'd have to see the rest of the session, but to know where I was at with this. But
well, you'd have to see the other viewers' work, because Daz said there was an element of time travel.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if they say that black holes are like wormholes that facilitate time travel, maybe a reach here, but
yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, this whatever this is here, this being, or the spirit of some whatever, it's getting sucked in. They're programmed to suck in all the light that is around them. So I'm not even sure where I'm contexting that in the session, but it's probably something where somebody is taking, it's just sucking the life out of people, or something like that.
Okay, so let me give you the feedback on this. All right, for part 2 of this presentation, we're going to Nyiam, who had some really stunning target contact. Nyiam, I just need you to verify for me that you worked this blind solo. You didn't compare your work with any of the other, you haven't even seen the other viewers when you did your work,
No.
right?
Yeah, I didn't see anyone else's work. Yeah, was all alone doing this one.
Okay, I'm going to put up some of your work, and I want to look at some of the highlights that I, as the analyst, feel is significant. So let's start with this here. So you have your visual ideograms, which have life forms, and it looks like life forms with some vertical lines. Sometimes that indicates energy. And then your low level probes here. What I get down to is your last, describe this last line in S2 Playfair. What are you seeing there?
Yeah, this in this galley there, I saw life form lying down, sounds of like people shouting help, loud voices. Someone, look hurt to me, someone down and hurt. Yeah.
So that's shouts, not shots. I was looking at to see was you were saying shots, but you said shouts.
Yeah.
Okay. So here you have a figure lying down. And when I saw that, I knew you were on target because that's exactly the target photo. So.
Yeah, I had to break, I broke away there to draw that because that was like a really, like sometimes a visual will just be super
Okay,
clear.
so
yeah.
You're still in low level data gathering. You're in your S2 Playfair matrix, and the guidance is there. If you get high level information or something that's too much to fit in the small square, you can draw it on a full page and just get it out. So that's what you did here.
Yeah.
So that was a strong impression for you.
Yeah, that one was strong.
Okay, so what's happening here?
Yeah, this is my S3, but putting all that low level data together. This was, the life down, some multiple people there. And I saw all these narrow hallways and pathways kind of all leading into one room there. So structure, life, multi voices, a figure down on the floor there.
So you have a figure on the floor. There are other people around, and this is inside a structure, and the structure is complex with many different passageways.
Yeah.
Okay, that's significant. All right. Remember, I'm not going to show the target photo after we look at all the data. So that's significant. Your being that is on the ground and injured is corroborated by Edward's session. And interesting, you have it inside a structure with a complex structure with many different passages. Okay. I guess this is what's here. This is an entrance. What are you seeing here?
This, I saw a life form walking into a kind of like an entrance. It's almost like cathedral-like. I got almost like the sense of like a welcoming party. Like this person walks in and there's like applause, like there's excitement when this life walks in here. And I wrote like they're like elect, like a president almost. Like people are happy, people are excited that this person is arriving. Yeah.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Here you got, this looks like the US Capitol.
Yeah. I tried to see outside
or
the structure.
Kremlin, you say.
Yeah, like a Capitol building, like it could be like the Kremlin or the US Capitol. Yeah, it's like almost like palace-like, nice architecture.
Okay, here's inside the structure, murder, assassin. Some of, every session is a combination of good data, bad data, and contamination. This, I don't know what to make of that. Blackburn down. Let's continue on. Okay, what's you're saying this is a military guy here?
Yeah, but I see a person that has the strap going across the chest, hat underneath under the arm, kind of like standing at attention. This person like ducks, or I get a sense that something happens and this person tries to escape. You know what I mean? Okay. They have a reaction to what happens inside the structure.
Lowest level description would be some military involvement.
Yeah.
Okay, here's back to your injured person. What are you getting here?
Yeah, here I see, you know, a main life form down, blood coming out, and the three other people, at least three other people holding them, kind of like holding them up. A sense of like assassin, a shootout, a tragedy. I hear gasping for air. Someone's like calling for medical assistance. A great loss is the sense there. Get reinforcements. Like, you know, this is a very reactive situation. This just happened and they're all holding up this person like man down.
Okay. So at the lowest reduction of the analysis would be someone is injured and there are people gathered around. Oh, here's your shooting. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, I kept getting the sense of like assassin. So I put it on Blackboard and I see a person cock back you know, those guns that have like a thing on the side that you pull back. I don't know what kind of gun that would be, but I see that happen.
Okay. Lowest level descriptor
This person
there is someone firing a gun.
Yeah, elevated. I see them. In this view, I see them high up, and way down below, they're aiming at something down below. Yeah, like a ledge or a balcony, elevated, hidden and elevated.
Okay, so that's your first session. We're going to look at two more. But the lowest level gestalts that I'm taking from this is a life form that's injured. There have been gunshots. There's military involvement. The injured being is inside a structure that's complex. All right, let me go to your next session here. Okay, low level data, low, we don't need to go. These are just you reacquiring target. All right. Now we're getting to the weird stuff. What do you see here? I think your internet was a little hung up there. You with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. All right. All right. This looks, let me start again so I can edit point 3, 2. You're describing an elongated skull, a skinny arms and body. This looks non-human.
Yeah, this was kind of shocking because up until this point, I didn't really get a good look at, you know, at an individual. Elongated skull, skinny arms and body, making, I hear like strange sounds, like alien. I get like extraterrestrial, even like telepathic when I probe, but you know, I get a sense like this person's telepathic. A sense of strange worship, like godly. Some people would call this being summon.
Broke up a little bit there. You were at godly and summon.
You know, you look on Blackboard, you see that. Yeah, it's kind of shocking. You look on Blackboard and you see something like that. Very unexpected there. Like an alien, you know, by all descriptions, you know.
Okay. And here, this is significant again because you have it lying down prone.
Yeah. So you know, I saw the person lying down. I saw the life form that was down in the earlier session, and I had the sense like they're hurt. I saw the blood, so I put that on Blackboard. Like, I want to see that life that was hurt, and this was really clear visual here. Big head and skull, taken out. I wrote here, reminds me of that alien autopsy photo. You know, that old one that came out years ago. They said there was a video of alien autopsy. It's like, I was like, that looks like a alien on a bed there lying down. Autopsy, operation, yells, detriment, injury, implants. And then I get the sense again of like this shooter, like the whole shooting thing that I saw.
Okay, here's some words. Here's here you're drawing it again.
Yeah, I look again because at this point I'm kind of like, this kind of took this strange turn, you know what I mean? So I'm like, what? Let me see this again, and I see this person looking at me this time, and I get a sense that this life is like pleomorphic. That's like they can change shape depending on their surroundings, like almost like a shape shifting type thing. And that pleomorphic, that's, you know, that's not really a word that I use. So
I'd have to look that. I'll have to look that one up. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how some words pop into your mind in a remote viewing session that maybe a word you've never used before in your life.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're writing it down. Okay. You have this being killed.
Yeah. Again, a sense of killed. Yeah.
Okay, and you're drawing more on the elongated skull. All right. Okay, now as a remote viewer, we don't work a lot of alien targets. I don't think you ever worked one at CryptoViewing yet, to our knowledge.
Yeah.
You've got to be questioning yourself at this point, right?
Yeah, I look again and I see like a disc with the dome on it and this, you know, alien in there, and I get a sense of sighting, communication. And, you know, at this point I wrote, this is some weird shit, like, you know, am I still on target anymore? Kind of cut off the session there just to, you know, give myself a break from that. Because
you stopped that.
Yeah.
And you're waiting to hear from me to tell you, okay, Nyiam, just your head is up your ass. Try again. And I didn't say that. I said, can you do any more work? So let's put the next one up. That was some very significant stuff right there. Okay, here we go. And your last session.
Yeah, the impressions were strong on this one. Last session was,
so here's the low level data,
almost like experiential at some points.
Oh, okay. So what are you seeing here? Beans
in the first, I see like a couple life forms there. I'm getting the sense of blood again. A bed, like there's a bed there. Voices, some machinery, like a whirring, some energy there. It's like a small enclosed, almost like a circular area with the passage that comes in, an enclosed area where this life is.
Okay. So here's your S3. Is this the S3 or is this an expansion of your collection matrix? Doesn't matter. It's okay. So you got these beans inside this.
Yeah, this is my S3. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is my S3. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to get too technical here with the jargon, but in the method we're using, S3 is where you take all the collected data to this point and you intuitively draw a site sketch, putting all your data on one page. So that's what you come up with. Yeah. What is this word up here? Strobe?
Structure one.
Structure. Oh, okay. Structure
one.
Oh, so there's structure, there's life form in the structure.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
it's curved.
So it's structure.
And then you get some land and structures.
Some tubes, yeah. Energy, yeah.
Oh, bright light. Is this the craft you're seeing?
No, this was this is like something out of Stargate, like that show, like a very, very large room with like almost like spotlights that have like a curving facade at the top that are all shining down on this area in the middle. So it's like lights, almost like the lights you would see at like over a hospital bed, but they're like high up on the ceiling. A large room, bright lights. It's air sealed. You got to like decontaminate before you come in. And I see a life, I see a bed, some life forms there, and I get a sense of a lifeline, surgery. This is like a top secret thing, trying to resuscitate. And, I get the sense that this might be like underground. That was the vibe here. Like, and it was weird. It's funny because it felt like this is being watched. Like it's actually being viewed by people.
Oh, you mean this scene there is like being televised to somebody, or people are psychically seeing it? What I'm not.
No, like there's like later in my session, like there's like a observation deck up on the top where there's just people kind of watching this. Yeah.
Okay, and here we're back to the main life form.
Okay.
That
passed. This was the most like experiential part of my session. When I first looked on Blackboard, I was actually underneath the table. Like the first thing my perspective was under a table, and the first thing all I could see was this doctor's shoes and the bottom of the white coat. So like the first thing I wrote was a long white coat. And then my perspective kind of changed, and then I was above looking down on this, and it's like guy with a clipboard and a white coat and this life form laying on a bed there. And yeah, I get a sense of patient, surgery, they failed. So this being died. Death throes, they're going through their last death throes there. You ever have that happen? You come onto target in like a very odd perspective, and it's like, whoa, like where am I?
I want to talk to you about that, because that happens to me sometimes. I remote viewed the Yalta conference once, and I do the little blackout thing, pushing Blackboard, and then it formed up, and I was like this close to Joseph Stalin. I saw the thing on his, the epaulet or whatever, the thing on his, and I saw his face, and I didn't recognize him, and I was like, whoa. And then I couldn't get back on target. So I've got to hand it to you to come to awareness on target underneath the gurney and the table and see the coat and be able to shift your awareness. That's a pretty good trick. I have a hard time doing that a lot of times.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking. Like you close your eyes and all of a sudden I'm seeing this guy's shoes and the
like
bottom of a white coat, and I'm right above.
Wait, I need you to start your internet connection is slow. Hang on. Hang on 1 second. Let me stop my VPN. Okay. Oh, you're frozen. Are you still here with me? Okay, now it's better. I got rid of my.
Yeah, so you froze up a little bit.
Tell me again about how that was coming to and seeing the shoes.
Yeah. So I put it on Blackboard. I'm closing my eyes. I'm looking, and all of a sudden I'm under a table. Like I can see there's something over my head, and I'm very low to the floor, and all I can see is the coattail, the bottom of a white doctor's coat and some shoes, like someone's shoes. I'm like right beside someone's feet. And then my perspective changed and I was looking from above down on the table, and I could see a doctor with his clipboard and this life lying on the bed there. So
that's a nifty trick, because a lot of times when that happens to me on target is I'm out and the visual forms, and like I'll see something and go, oh, I'm seeing the target. What am I supposed to see? And I'll say, oh, I'm just seeing the guy's shoes. And that cognizant realization of, oh, I'm remote viewing, I'm seeing the shoes, I need to see his face, will sometimes knock me off target because it brings too much conscious mind into it. So, well, I'm impressed you did that. Let's go back to the rest of your session here.
Yeah, this is like what I was like looking at the I wanted to see like where is this little container that they're in, this room. And so this is like a farther out perspective. They're like in this bubble at the bottom. It's like a sealed off bubble, and up higher up, elevated, there's like observation decks with like onlookers. There's like people watching this surgery, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Okay, this was like edging, long hallways, like a bunch of, I saw a bunch of things, long hallways, guards that flank certain areas, punch codes. You got to punch in codes to get into certain areas. Guys in lab coats with goggles on. It's very high security. Tubes, amniotic tubes and things going into the mouth and the nose. High security place. Yeah,
these are the onlookers looking down, like they're observing.
Yeah, darker up there. It was like very hard to see. It's just dark, and they're onlooking from up above. Shady figures, some kind of Secret Service. I don't know who those guys would be. Black Project guys.
So I've told you what the target is. Now you know it. But think back. What was your feeling after all that?
Well, like, I saw certain things more than once. So like, I was pretty confident, like, okay, I'm on target. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is going to be one of those feedbacks where it's like, I'm not going to actually get to see what I saw. Like, it'll just kind of be like a tasking, like what happened on this day, or you know what I mean? I wasn't expecting
that there was going to be an actual picture of
I didn't think there was going to be an actual photo. So even though when I was done, you're like, good work, and I'm like, I guess good work, but what, am I going to get any kind of real feedback?
And now we'll look at Daz Smith work. Daz, good evening in UK. It's midday here in Hawaii. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Okay. You haven't seen the other viewers' work, have you?
No, not at all, no.
Okay. So, and you did this blind. You actually did a session or two, which I deemed to be like not exactly on target. So without saying anything, I just said, hey, do it again. And then you did a target that I said, oh, this is interesting. Do some more.
Yes.
So I'm going to, and you have not seen the other viewers' work yet. This is all independent. You haven't communicated with them.
No, not at all.
And this was done under single blind protocol.
Yes. Early in September, I believe.
You're starting here with an ideogram. Okay. Describe this. I like the concept of time. What are you getting here?
Well, the ideogram looks to me, from my my usual language, of a life form that was enveloped in some kind of energy, and that's what instantly gave me the AOL there of a bubble of energy, and time was involved.
Okay.
Yeah, and the word there enveloped in the bottom, so you know it literally was a life form that felt like this time very strange exotic energy was radiating from him.
Okay. Next one.
Again, you can see the
You
life
get
form
the
there in
idea
the
that
energy.
it's a past event.
Yes. And, you know, it felt like there was a sense of levitation there. So it felt very, very esoteric and strange from the start. It felt like a life form with this strange energy interaction.
Okay, continuing on. Okay, here's your life form again.
Yes, and there was a land interface there as well. So a life form, yeah, with energy around them, and there was something to do with land there as well. But you know, again, it almost felt like this life form could fly or levitate or float. Yeah, I had float there as well.
Interesting. I have never seen that in your work before in all the times we've worked
No,
together.
not
Okay.
in RV sessions, but I have in my now I know what the target is. I have seen in my past life of doing research in abductee stuff, heard many stories of the grey aliens that levitate and actually come through windows and through walls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting more energetic here in your S2.
Yeah, lots of fizzle noises, electrical kind of feelings. Feels like it was outside. Yeah, it really is lots of weird energy, wild energy there, multi-dimensional energy. Feels like there's lots of stuff to do with multi-dimensions and time slip to you know involved with this life form.
Here's the one that really got my attention. Um, Describe this for me.
Yeah, some kind of as you can see, a thin, weird fingered life form there. And I'm trying to draw the energy thing that I could see around it. This energy pattern, and I knew it was a male life form, but I also knew it was non-human. But I kept getting this sense that it could be physical when it wanted to be physical, but almost like at a flip of a switch, it could make itself non-physical at the same time. Very interesting.
Okay, what's this?
Um,
Oh, that's a UFO, huh?
yeah, he was trying to explain something to me about what he was doing and all this kind of stuff, and that's why I wrote the how at the top. And he was trying to show me about how they could shift or fold time with, and it used a great amount of energy to do this. And then he tried, you know, I had this vision then of this tic tac shaped UFO type craft. Yeah, very strange stuff.
Okay. Now, at some point in your you got on to time travel, like this was a time travel. I don't think it's on this page, but you're starting to get the idea of time. You say time
Yes.
is an important factor.
Yeah, as I got there, it says this feels like it's time and space together. Distortions. It feels like this life form could distort time and space, and it felt like I was looking up at him as well. So it literally did feel like he could float, and you know that's why I got the word TARDIS off like Doctor Who and stuff because it felt strange because I could see some similarity with the Doctor Who character in that they could they could essentially travel through time and space.
So remote viewer to remote viewer, I know that how this works in my mind is sometimes you get a concept that you kind of understand from your subconscious and you have no way to put it into words. Is that kind of what was, I suspect that was happening here.
Yeah, because I have, you know, although we've done thousands of targets, I haven't really done that many that deal with anything to do with distorting time. And my only reference in the real world was, you know, watching a few episodes in the past of Doctor Who. So that was my closest comparison that I could term it to, really.
All right, we'll continue on. Um, okay, describe what you're getting here.
Yeah, this is so I'm describing the life form in more detail here, and I said he's small, light, thin. When I was looking at him, he was non-physical, and I got the energy changes. You know, the energy it exudes or around it could change its physical density, and then I actually wrote the words "whoa" there because I was like, seeing this and feeling this as it was trying to be explained. So the energy that it was, and I think the energy, to be honest, didn't come from him. I think it was almost like an external device or something did the energy, because it felt artificial. But it distorts the energy around the life beings, almost like light distortions and reflections. And it's that changes the dimensions and the time elements of it. Yeah, so it could essentially manipulate time and space through this kind of artificial energy that it was using. That's me trying to describe the life again. So small male, non-human, physical and non-physical. It felt like it didn't have a thumb. Felt like it had a big energy flow, not like humans. And I'm thinking about the Tai Chi kind of energy systems in the body. It felt different. It felt like he was a part of a larger kind of energy system, and it had a plan or an operation, very scientific feel to it on a massive scale. And I wrote at the top on the other side there on the left, I was like, wow. It felt like he can bend himself in time and space, like he folds dimensions just by thinking about it and moving his thoughts. Just by thinking, I want to move in time, he could move in time. And it felt like he also got his nutrition from energy, not from any food substance. The actual energy that it was using and manipulating was feeding it as well.
Well, that's an interesting concept, like you don't need to take in calories to produce the energy to function. You can just, like a 0 point energy machine as a biological being. I've never thought of that one.
That's a good interpretation. I would never have put it that way, but that makes sense now. Because bear in mind, I did this a while ago, and this is the first time I've reviewed it and looked at it as well. So it's almost like looking at it with fresh eyes. So yeah, that would be a good description of it. Yeah, it really did feel like the internal organs were different in such a way that it didn't take in food. It took in energy.
Okay, that strikes me as a concept that you had with some clarity, but trying to get it onto the pad on how to sketch it probably gave you a devil of a time, huh?
Yeah. I wrote here this weird folding jellyfish type form. When it changed its dimensionality, this is what I could see, like a kaleidoscope. When you look for a kaleidoscope when you're a child and you see all that weird stuff, I could see that. That's what the life form changed into when it was changing dimensions and shape. It was just a big kaleidoscope of energy.
Okay, now you're getting an unknown event, surprised, people shocked.
Yeah. Feels like people were watching this. It felt very USA centric. And it feels like it was an event that was above them in the sky, with an object or something that was floating, levitating, and flying. This is just talking about the life again.
Oh, here's your time traveler data.
Yes, yeah. So I knew that he could manipulate time and space, and I knew he felt like a time and space traveler. And it feels like they have the interactions themselves are like a wake up call message for humanity, and it's all to do with a chain of events, something to do with the future. But yeah, literally, it's all about time, and they fold dimensions or harness time, and there's more than one of them interacting. And they're essentially here, or what they're doing is gathering resources, and it's shown to me that they're gathering resources before they become too damaged.
I hope I'm on target.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it just felt so surreal. Yeah. This,
Okay, so you stopped it here.
Yes.
Because you felt you were a little too far out. Okay.
Yeah, all the geometric shapes and the time stuff, because we've worked together for years. I don't think we've ever done anything that's been time based. So I was getting all this time life form stuff, and I was thinking, this has got to be my imagination. This is just so weird.
Okay. So at this point, I looked at your data and I emailed you. I need you to do a little more work. And I may have said, like, is there a physical being that you described that being your stick figure.
Yeah,
The time travel. I think
that's
I
what
said,
it yeah.
do some more work on that. So
Yes.
here we get to the big, this is the here we go moment. Okay. So you're reacquiring the target.
Yes.
This is a later session and you do an ideogram just to reacquire target, correct?
Yes. Yeah. So that's my ideogram for a life there, which is almost like a very basic stick figure.
Humanoid, thin, emaciated look, past, dead.
Yeah.
Preserved.
Yes.
That's interesting. Okay. And let me make this. Can we see the whole thing? So there you go. That's your guy. Describe that.
Yeah, some kind of. Well, yeah, it was weird because it felt humanoid, but it also felt not lizardy, but animal traits to it as well, which was quite shocking because it felt like, I didn't see it clearly, but sometimes it didn't feel like it. But when I looked at it again, it felt like it had these dark black claws. Yeah, very thin, very small. Felt like it could, and I got words like desiccate there. It was literally like I was looking at it was dead when I was looking at it. It was preserved in some way. 3 to 4 fingers, no toes, no thumbs. Yeah, very thin body, very bony, weirdly bony.
Yeah.
Hard to.
So you
hard to
felt
put it
this
down in
was
words.
deceased at this time.
Yes.
If I had my wits about me, I would have asked for injuries or physical defects, but I didn't do that. I was so blown away. I said, "Oh, they got it. They got it." So
Yeah.
you think this is preserved, stored, archived in the USA?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and you AOL'd Alien Autopsy.
Yes. Yeah.
Nyiam had the same exact wording.
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, so humanoid, no hair. Here you're.
Yeah, it feels adolescent, not fully developed. And the thing was, it felt very skittish. So when it was alive, and I didn't expect this, it felt like it moved very fast because it looked so frail and like an old person kind of, or a starving human in form. I was quite shocked at seeing how it moved and how fast it could move. Yeah.
Okay, what's this? Triangular range spine. Oh, you're looking at more physical, the large skull. Here you're describing it again, the torso.
Yeah, just the eyes and stuff. And inside the torso, as I said, bony with a different cavity than us, and a different set of organs. And they felt like it had only 3 organs arranged in like a triangular arrangement within the body cavity. The spine also felt different, but I don't know if this was because it was deceased and it was stored. But still, yeah, it felt like it had a strangely connected hip area as well, and didn't have a full range of movements like human did with its hips.
Oh, here's the hands. Oh,
Yeah,
and the joints.
The top bit's trying to describe the size between 12 inches and 6 feet. So I would put that, I don't know, 4 feet-ish, I think.
Yeah.
And I put it very strange. I put that they grow in layers like a tree. I don't know what that means, but that was interesting as well. It felt like they actually grew in layers, which is very strange. Or if you've ever seen 3D printing where it prints in layers, builds up in layers, that's what it felt like their bone structure was like. So yeah, that's the hand.
Here it is again.
Not many fingers, and if you see the swiveling joints there, it felt really strange in that it felt like their fingers or their joints could swivel 360 degrees on a very strange joint system.
That's cool. Excuse me, I was joking there. That's quite a sketch. Okay.
Yeah, big hands, big long fingers. I wrote there at the top though, at the sketch, that I made it in that sketch look a bit more too human. It needs to feel slightly less human than what I had there. That feels too human.
Ah. And now you've got it mummified,
Yeah,
compressed.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, it feels like it's compressed or dried or mummified, and it felt like it was like, I don't know, weirdly distorted or folded up, and maybe even cut up. I couldn't quite work it, or dissected. It just didn't feel. Yeah, it didn't feel whole or right. But it was all to do with something in the past, something that was older. And I think here I was just trying to, because I know that I didn't get the sketch quite right of it, so I was trying to draw it again, and this wasn't coming out right as well. The head wasn't right. Yeah,
The thought of like the neck vertebrae can't hold up the head. The head seems too big.
Yes, that's what it felt like. And on this one,
I just noticed this.
Yeah, it felt like it had bullet wounds and holes in it.
Bullet wound.
Felt like it had been shot.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. I didn't notice that. I looked at your session so quick. I'm glad we're going over this in depth. So Nyiam had gunshots.
Okay, yeah.
Wow, all right. So this is your summation here.
Yeah. Target feels preserved, dried, or mummified. Thin, very bony, structurally different than a humanoid. The spine felt curved. The bone structure feels different than humans. It has less organs, and it feels like it was studied and looked at and x-rayed as well.
I want to go back to this one. That's the target photo exactly, and you said shot, bullet wound. That's really significant. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, so Daz, the other two viewers also had a being lying down, distressed or dead. Nyiam said alien autopsy and drew the same being. Now that you've seen the feedback, had you seen that picture before?
No, that was a new one to me. Yeah, I haven't seen that one at all. No.
I'm told it's real. And what's your feeling after seeing the remote viewing data? I think our data kind of corroborates that as being a real event.
It seems to, yeah. I mean, there's no reason why all viewers would be off with such, significant data that overlaps.
All right, now I want to show you the target tasking document. Here it is. The target ID ES45-GN21, the target queue, the being shown in this photograph, cause of death, near past. You can see what looks to be a classic ET, seems to be deceased, and I observe what looks like a wound, perhaps a bullet hole in the neck area. The subtasking was, viewer will describe the being and perceive the location and surroundings, cause of injury at the time of death of the being in this photograph. So I'll let the remote viewing work speak for itself. I think the story that unfolded from the remote viewing work seems to validate this photograph. What do you think?
If it wasn't a real
So this is the first real UFO target we've done at CryptoViewing, I think. I mean, there's been some stuff where we may have seen some craft watching stuff happening on Earth, but I mean, as a real targeted ET, I think this is our first one we've done here. I mean, you and I did a bunch at Farsight, but that's been 6 years now.
Yeah, now you mention it, I'm just trying to think back. It probably is, and we've been going nearly 4 years now. So in 4 years, this is the first proper target. I mean, we have picked stuff up, on like the African mountains when we saw and stuff like that. But yeah, this is the first actual proper UFO or ET type target that we've done at CryptoViewing. Yeah.
So UFO research has been one of your sidelines along with remote viewing. What's your impression of this whole thing? Interesting project, isn't it?
It is, yeah. With all projects, now that I know more, I feel, oh damn, I would have liked to have taking it further and like maybe track them back to where they came from, all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. But that's always the same in hindsight. It's like, oh, we
Well,
worked this to death.
it looks in the target photo like that thing had been shot in the neck.
Right. Yeah.
And you got the gunshot, and Nyiam also had people shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to contact George Filer. You know who he is, Major
Yes.
Filer?
Yep.
He claims that he was briefing generals about UFOs when he was in the Air Force. And he says there was an incident where there was an incursion onto a base and they shot an alien and killed it.
Yep.
And so I want to ask him if maybe this is
I've read about a couple of those at air bases. Yeah. So yeah, it's highly possible. Yeah. And there's even some instances in some of the crash events. I'm not sure if it was Roswell or if it was another one where a soldier got scared and let off a few shots into one of the aliens as well. So there's stories there as well.
Well, I've kept the audience in suspense. I have, as the way I'm going to structure this presentation is I'm going to talk about how I got the picture, and then how I tasked it, and then we've debriefed Riordan, Nyiam, and then you, and now I'll finally show them the image. So thank you very much, Daz. Great work.
Yeah, great project. Thanks for involving me.
Here's one thing that I gauge. Remote viewers have cycles of contact. Like there's times when you're on and times when you're off. And because of stresses in your life or COVID, you were in a little down cycle a while back.
Yeah.
And when you came out of that was the Fauci target.
Yes.
Your Fauci data was just stellar, some of your best work. And you did this in the same time period. So you were in a hot period.
And my crypto ones have been on as well lately. I had a spell of like I think a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, where things were a bit, and now I feel like I'm on again.
So you came on to cycle, and that's when I hit you with this target.
Yeah.
So, and I trust that. All right, great work, Daz. Very good.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's a great one.
So I'm going to show the actual picture at the end of the presentation. We're going to look at all the data, but when you look at it and you see that the target cue was the being shown in the photograph, cause of death, and the instruction was viewer will describe the being and perceive the location and surroundings, cause of injury at the time of death. Do you think this thing was shot? What's your feeling when you look at the?
I think they were shot. Then possibly tried to resuscitate them and failed. They failed trying to keep this thing alive. That's what I see through my session.
Do you think it's a real picture?
After looking after the data, it's like,
well, it's not just your data. It's that Riordan also had the being lying down injured. Didn't get so much the alien stuff. And then we'll see Daz's. Interesting to consider, isn't it, Nyiam?
Yeah. That's remote viewing's interesting for these kinds of things, right? It's like you get this picture and people could say what they want about it, but then you task it out blind to some viewers and, well, what do they get, right? That can add a whole nother kind of dimension to what might have happened there. And the fact that I saw an alien on the bed, it's like, and all the things that go along with it, like some kind of underground base and doctors trying to keep.
Oh, you were breaking up again.
It alive.
Go back to the alien base and the doctors, because you were breaking up.
Really interesting target there.
Yeah. Well, significant to me that both you and Riordan immediately drew a prone form that had been injured and was in distress, which I don't think would have, if it was a a faked, photoshopped, or a rubber dummy, I don't think you guys would. Maybe you'd get that. I don't know. But the sessions were pretty strong. Good work, Nyiam. Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, that was quite the experience, you know.
Well,
Especially seeing the feedback. Like in the feedback, that was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was like, oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, imagine me. When I tasked this out, this was my own little secret. Like, I'm the only one who, this guy sent me this picture, and I don't even know if I got his permission to do. We're only going to do this privately. I'm not going to put this out in public, but imagine my surprise when I tasked it to you guys, the data you came back with. I was just looking at it going, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good work.
Thank you.
You have several images of meetings, like important people, and there seems to be, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like maybe reacting to this or decisions being made. Did you have any connection between what you saw happening with the person in distress and dying and then this?
Well, I mean, the
my
feeling,
interpretation, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, is like, oh, there's a high level reaction to this.
well, the ringmaster idea, like that person there at the head, he's at the head of the table, whoever that person is, having a whatever discussion about a situation or whatever related to the target. But the idea of like a ringmaster, or someone who's like in control or has some kind of power in relationship to what's going on at
Orchestrating things.
Yeah, the
Again, I don't want to put words. Okay, now one final one. We're going to get very woo-woo here.
Oh, good.
You may be telling me something very significant here. Describe this. I know it's been like a month since you've worked this target. And you've done a whole bunch of, you don't even remember this.
I don't even remember the whole thing. Let me see here. Dark swing.
What you're saying is
program. They're programmed to suck in all the light that is around them. I'd have to see the rest of the session, but to know where I was at with this. But
well, you'd have to see the other viewers' work, because Daz said there was an element of time travel.
Oh, that's interesting.
So if they say that black holes are like wormholes that facilitate time travel, maybe a reach here, but
yeah, I'm not sure. But yeah, this whatever this is here, this being or the spirit of some whatever, it's getting sucked in. They're programmed to suck in all the light that is around them. So I'm not even sure where I'm contexting that in the session, but it's probably something where somebody is taking, it's just sucking the life out of people or something like that.
Okay, so let me give you the feedback on this. So let me explain something to you. I have a source, Edward, that I've known for 8 or 9 years, that I got to know, and he told me that he worked for a foreign military, and I did confirm that, ally of the United States, and was involved in ET stuff. And he sent me some pictures that have not been previously shown. So I tasked one of the pictures. That's your target.
Holy shit. Wow.
So this allegedly shows a being that looks to be on like a gurney or an autopsy table, lying prone.
Yeah.
My question is, was there a real being that had some trauma done to it? It looks like there's a gunshot wound in the neck.
Yeah, it does look like it.
So what
that
we're
looks
trying to determine is
pretty real.
that real? Was there a being that suffered some trauma and died? So
Wow. Well, my session would indicate that that's what was going on, unless I'm just repeating a storyline. But that looks, if that's not real, that's a pretty good adaptation. But yeah,
okay, well,
yeah.
there we go.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty interesting.
Subscribe today for full access to our massive archive of remote viewing debriefs. The past, the present, and the future, only at futureforecastinggroup.com.